Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are reviewing a movie that was made in Australia called The Tunnel.
Now, before we go any further, I was just talking to Sarah a few moments ago. Mm-hmm. This is an Australian film called The Tunnel, done in 2011.
Yes.
I got a list of other movies here. Tunnel, Korean movie, 2016. Mm-hmm. There's two other movies called The Tunnel, 2014 and 2019. There's also a TV series called, guess what?
The Tunnel.
So when you go searching for it later, and I give you the details, make sure you check The Tunnel, 2011, if the date's with it, and who the director is, and who the main actor is. Okay.
Before we go on, Mike, these particular tunnels, they got
nothing to do with
this one.
I just said one is a Korean film about something. One's something else. One's a thing where they killed some people and they found this old mine area and taken a dead body into it. No, it's got nothing to do with this movie.
Okay.
I just said do not be dragged into these movies.
Yeah, guys.
They might be good, but
anyway, so it's an interesting movie. It's a found footage one, obviously,
Yep.
and where it takes place in Australia, obviously, and it has some, I guess, Australian-related actors in it, and the filming style is similar to either Current Affair or 60 Minutes.
It's a documentary style where they're being interviewed and they're talking about what went on, and they've got archival footage from their time in the tunnel, which is the handheld crap, which I don't particularly like a lot of, but it seems to work in this one.
Yeah, of course we don't see the monster clearly.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, will you stand here, I'll do a selfie and get my lighting right? When you do a found footage, it's supposed to be grungy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So who directs, writes, and produces the thing?
Critically.
Yeah, and what's the box office, if there is one?
Well,
if there is one.
I don't have a lot of information on it, but I'll give you what I got, okay? Mm-hmm. Produced by Julian Harvey and Enzo Tedeschi. Mm-hmm. That name rings a bell, actually. Now, the story is it was written by Julian Harvey and Enzo Tedeschi. Gee, funny that, eh?
Funny.
So it sounds like we're heading towards an independent one. Hey. Mm-hmm. Directed by Carlo Ledesma, Ledesma. Ledesma? Whatever. Something like that. Yeah, okay. The Human Beings.
Yes.
Right. And obviously these names probably mean nothing to any of you because they don't mean too much to me, and I live here.
Yeah. And there's no link to their past work history.
Well, they got no web links to their names or anything, so they could have been their one-trick ponies. I do not know.
Yeah, or something.
Okay. Oh, except for one of them, Luke Arnold. Now, Belle Delia plays Natasha Warner. She's a video journalist.
Video journalist.
Yeah. Andy Rodereda plays Peter Ferguson. Steve Davis plays Steve Miller. That's a good change of name, isn't it? Luke Arnold plays Jim Williams, Tangles to his friends. He got a website. Goran Clute plays the stalker stroke monster.
Yeah.
I won't mention. I'll mention there's two other people. James Catlin plays Trevor Jones. He might be an interviewer or something. Or Russell Jeffrey plays Seth, S-E-F.
Yeah, but for the most part, the first 5 of characters in this one, they focus on them the most. Of course, most of the time in the interviews, it's only focused on 2 people who talk in the interview.
Yeah, the leftovers.
Yes.
After the monster gobble them up and everything. Now, okay, right. Insofar as budget and box office and stuff and everything else, all I know is the budget was about $135,000, which I'm thinking, wow, what they achieved for a small budget, not too bad. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with what they managed to do with a limited budget.
True.
And look, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, I can't have any money." Well, yeah, but you do. See, a lot of this money would have gone. They paid wages. They would have had licensing fees to go into the tunnels. They would have had someone doing post for them. Might have had to pay them. There's a lot of stuff here. But if you do your own stuff. If you're a producer director and you want to get your hands dirty doing the camera work as well, and get your wife or your girlfriend or your buddy on the audio recorder, and you got a couple of free actors there or some friends who want to have a go at it, you can make a film, short, whatever, really cheaply.
Yeah.
It's all the overheads. They skin you alive. But I mean, I don't expect everyone to work for free all the time, obviously. But it's a learning curve when you get into it and you start doing stuff. Then you can start, hey, I got some credibility. Then do a GoFundMe sort of thing, and then you can work on a budget. You know?
Yeah. Before we go on, guys, as you guys well know, back then. Back then, they did a lot of found footage movies, and of course, it became a sort of trend, you know.
Which I began to hate.
Which began a bit
I think the Blair Witch was one of the first ones, wasn't it?
Blair Witch, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Hannibal Holocaust would have been the first, but the Blair Witch would have come much later on.
I think Blair Witch was the one everyone remembers. Cannibal Holocaust, I think, was before it, but I think the one that actually made it. Everyone said, "Oh look, there's a found footage."
Yeah,
that was Blair Witch.
When Cloverfield came out, which is probably a few years after Blair Witch, that began a sort of, a theme where people decided, even independent filmmakers decided to go ahead and make their own, found footage movie just to get themselves noticed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against found footage as long as it's done well. If it gets to the stage where they're moving the camera too much and you cannot see anything that's going on, and you're going into a black room and all you see is black and all you're hearing is audio, and you get to the stage where it's really hard on the viewer. I mean, I know we're going for reality, but there's a borderline here. A lot of cheap cameras have auto aperture adjustments, and actually the light will change after a couple of seconds. At least you'll see some teeth flashing in the dark, or some eyes reflecting some light. Some of these just got it's like looking at a blackboard with no chalk on it. So those sorts of things annoy me. I like to see at least a shadow or a silhouette of something, a crack of light coming under a door saying, "Oh well, the picture's still here." But when you go into nothing,
there's no real history per se about this creature they discover in the tunnels.
No, you don't need it.
I mean, it only just says that the place had an interesting history. Like, it was it was once upon a time a bit of a war shelter and
okay, look,
stuff
I'll
like
give
that.
you a bit of a rundown because I'm a Sydney boy. The original tunnel system that they used was the original tunnel system when they did the first train network there, and then they did some new train networks when the bridge was built and everything else. So they got rid of some of the old tunnels, which are still there, but not being used by the trains or anything. And then, during the war, they used as bunkers and whatever, and storage areas and whatever. And then they fell into disrepair. No one needed them anymore, so they became
useless.
Well, not useless. I mean, the homeless used to sneak in there and sleep and make a nest for themselves and that sort of thing. And it probably is pretty accurate because I know some areas down there myself, which I used to hang around. I used to hang around that area a lot, and I knew some areas where they actually could have snuck in to some of the tunnel networks, which I didn't go in. I was a good boy. I knew one right on the side of the bridge. I go, "Oh, that looks interesting. I might sneak in there one day," but never got around to doing it.
Yeah.
But the homeless people probably would have got in there somehow or other and made a place to get out of the weather. So
yeah, that's it. Anyway, so I'll talk about So we already discussed the characters, and now what's the box office or
there's no
budget?
Box office. There's no 135,000. I already said that. But there's no box office. I don't know.
Okay.
I will give you an oversight. The idea before these people go down to check out the tunnel system, the government was going to mine water, I suppose. There's water built up in the tunnel network when they're going to actually use and bring it into their recycle millions of litres of water trapped down there so they can actually put it in the grid.
Right.
And all of a sudden the government went cold on the deal. They decided we won't do that. And this lady wants to find out why they changed their mind.
Yes. So
that brings you up to speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the story begins where it starts off as one of those phone calls to the to, I guess, the emergency line, and this woman's panicking, and of course the other end is the usual office lady saying, "What's your emergency?" And she's going on about how her friend is dying and is in need of desperate help. They're on a train station and they need help. Of course, they ask them questions like, "What station are you on?" She says she doesn't know and stuff like that. She's panicking, and then...
And that's actually the end scene of the movie, so the rest of it's retro.
Now we move on to the present, where a person is talking directly to the camera.
They're interviewing them.
Being interviewed. Like as I said before, these people sort of worked on Current Affair or one of those types of...
I don't know if it's a Current Affair thing or they're being interviewed by the police or some officials finding what the hell we're doing down there, what happened, trying to find what happened down there. So I think it's more of an inquiry.
Yeah, anyway, they're filming them, and it seems like it does make me think of 60 Minutes or Current Affair style filming. Maybe some of the guys who worked on this may have worked on Current Affair or 60 Minutes. I don't know. Could be wrong. Anyway, so they talk about the Drainage Commission, and they were how they were going to try to get the system working again. And of course, there's a lot of homeless people that somehow magically disappeared.
Well, we didn't know that, but at the time, but they said there was no homeless people down there.
Yes.
It didn't say disappeared. The government, there was no homeless people down there.
Yeah.
The government always says that sort of stuff. Just relocate
They
them.
plan on opening up that side of the train station, but somehow they abandoned the project, obviously.
So we're not going to harvest the water. No, we'll leave it down there.
Yes, so which is a big mystery. Then later on, Natasha finds an online video where these kids who are doing graffiti, down in those tunnels, and sees something, and we don't know what happens because the video goes blank, obviously, indicating that maybe the kids also vanished like the homeless people. We don't know. Anyway, she wants to go down there to do a bit of a documentary investigation video about it, obviously. So she gets... Peter, a director, I guess he might be a director.
Yeah, Peter's a producer.
Yeah, producer. And Stephen, the camera operator. And Tangles as the audio recordist guy, obviously. I would normally, in the past, would not have known their roles or their jobs. But now I do.
And I've got it written down in front of me.
Yes. So, she, of course, goes to the government, the government interview thingy with the rest of their crew, and the guys don't answer all their questions of why they decided to abandon the project. She even tries to run after one of the government officials and try to get a private one-on-one interview, but he doesn't say anything.
Nope.
She also
went cold on the deal and went even colder on the interview.
She also interviews a homeless man who used to be friends with some of those homeless people.
He was what did I say? Traumatized?
When they asked him what happened down there, he went all weird, shocked, and he just don't want to talk about it. So anyway, they think the only way to find out what's going on is to go down to the train station
they tried
and
to do
find
it legally
out.
By asking the officials, can we go down there? And they said, no, you're not allowed to go down there.
Yeah.
So they did it anyway.
Natasha doesn't tell the rest of the group about how they said no. But anyway, they go down there, and eventually when they get down there, one of the security guards tell her to leave. And she tries to bribe him, but he says, go away, you're not allowed down here. And then they sneak in through one of those special... I don't know what they call it. One of those areas with a gate, obviously, and they sneak in.
A worker's gate, like a work access gate. Old hurricane fencing, padlock on it.
Yeah.
They found that outside somewhere, and they went, "Okay, we'll go through there and see if we get down there."
Yeah.
One of the guys, was it Peter? I think had the map, which wasn't up to date because there were some alterations, but it helped them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they got down there. There were some bits where they have a hard time filming because the place is pitch dark. Some of it. I mean, they do have the usual special camera that you can film in such situations, and one that just allows green if it's a nighttime thing.
It's great. Yeah, what do you call it? Night vision. Yeah,
Yes, night vision. Anyway, that's why you get the green thingy.
It looks good, actually. They're bringing the green screen and actually made it feel real. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so they head in there and they do a few, one-on-one bits where they see the bunkers. I mean, the places where the homeless people sleep.
And the parts had been converted to air raid shelters in case in the 1940s in case it was needed. Yeah.
And of course we do see the water there. And when they get to another section of the place, it has this very huge bell for, I guess, for when they
the warning bell.
Which they bang, and somehow the audio is very,
It was too intense.
There's
noise saturation for those guys out there who know about audio.
Yeah, so he goes out of the room to record the audio separately.
Around the corner somewhere to deaden the noise a bit. And
of course, when
happens.
he is out there, we do hear his friend Stephen is listening to the recording to see if it sounds okay. And he hears something that's unexpected. He hears his friend Tangles, the recorder, sort of disappearing, getting grabbed and sort of taken away. We do hear the audio, in a separate scene where Natasha hears it in the interview scene, obviously.
Yeah, she didn't hear it on the day. Yeah.
No. Anyway, they then try to go looking for Tangles. All the time, Natasha thinks this is all a prank or a joke. They do a few funny bits at the beginning here and there, but this one becomes deadly serious when they even find a room where it's covered in blood, fresh blood by the look of it, in my opinion.
Blood,
we don't see a dead body. We are assuming the worst, obviously. Yep. Anyway, they continue searching. Of course, they do run into a security guard who, I guess, and he gets grabbed off screen by this creature really fast. And we don't see him. We do see him again, obviously, with his eyes gouged out, and the creature that looks very... Well, there's no way to describe it. He's like... Not anything I ever did see before. It was hard to believe, and he did later. He kind of snaps the guy's neck, and we don't see him again. We only know that it collects eyeballs.
It rips out eyeballs for some reason
Creepy
or other.
reason.
I do not know. Maybe they don't like people to have vision down there. I do not know.
What we know about this creature is it doesn't like light. I told Mike this the other day when we were watching it. This thing makes me think of the Warlocks in...
The Morlocks.
The Morlocks from Time Machine.
Or me when I was younger, waking up with a really blinding headache after a night on the town, getting too drunk.
Yeah.
My eyes, my head...
Yeah.
Not the same thing, no.
So there's no way of knowing what this creature is, even though he does seem to be very bony and very big and big-armored. I don't know. Anyway, eventually they try to avoid it as much as possible, and Steve worked out exactly it's the fact it doesn't like light, which does explain when in certain passages in the tunnel system which have bright lights in them.
Yeah. They were safer in the bright tunnels, but not in the dark tunnels.
Of course, this creature kind of takes their gear, including their flashlights. Luckily, they're able to find a flashlight in one of the rooms.
They were, I think, too. They had no idea. Okay, we've got those bloody journalists are down here again. Okay.
Anyway, so they try to, try to avoid this creature as much as possible. I won't go into details, but eventually, it does catch up to Natasha and about to drown her and stuff. But luckily enough, Peter and Steve appear and save her. Of course, Peter stays behind to deal with the creature while Stephen and Natasha, they quickly try to get away. And all the time, as they're trying to get close to get out of there, all the time Natasha wants to go back for Peter because we're not sure what happened to Tangles, obviously. We assume the worst, obviously. Yeah, obviously. Anyway, but eventually Peter emerges and they all try to get out to the first available, train station that's brightly lit by real light.
Yeah,
and
right.
as they're calling out throughout the door, they notice that Peter's dying, and they call out to some of the passengers getting off the trains next to them for a phone, obviously. And this is where that scene we saw at the opening comes into play, where she's panicking, she's not speaking clearly, and she's not aware of where she is, obviously.
Yeah,
And
I think it was Museum Station, but I can't remember.
I could not say either. Anyway, we then realize that Peter has died, and they couldn't do it. They go on to explain how the police they talk to them, ask them about what's going on, and the fact they didn't. They put an end to the investigation. They didn't do a thorough search of the tunnels, whether or not they could find tangles anywhere. Obviously, they decided to put an end to the case and close it. Obviously, and as Natasha and Stephen talk, they say that Stephen is angry at everything. He's angry at the government. He's angry at the police. He's angry at Natasha for breaking the rules about journalism 101. Anyway, and Natasha doesn't feel like it's all her fault, obviously, but I think she knows that deep down that she's responsible for what happened to Peter. And anyway, we then see a card that appears on the screen that says Natasha gave up on her journalism career and no longer practices it.
Yeah, see, check out Coles.
And Stephen continues to work at Current Affair and other news-related stuff. And then we fade out, and then we see on the screen that Tangles is still missing, and his family have not given up hope of finding him. And, of course, it mentions no government officials or police, guys, didn't want to be interviewed. Nah. That's the end. Usually, sometimes, this stuff can appear in documentaries sometimes but when you think about it, sometimes that sort of fact-finding does not always necessarily seem to be truthful, sometimes. Anyway, it's not really important because this is mostly just a found footage movie, and it's not true.
Good. Actually, it's pretty good for this.
And the rest of the time, we get a montage throughout the credits of drains and water indicating of the tunnels that they experience, which makes you wonder what life lies underneath our feet.
What lies beneath? Oh, whatever.
But I think there was a movie called that sort of thing too. So that's the tunnel, guys. So let's discuss what it. More about it.
Bits and pieces. Production. I don't often do production.
No, we don't.
Now, this appears to be an independent because the film was funded using a crowdfunding.
Yeah, and they mentioned the website at the opening and at the end. Yeah.
So they did something here. They sold individual digital frames of the film for $1 to raise $135,000 target budget. So that's a good way to do it. Selling rights to it somehow or other. Anyway, principal photography, like I said before, took place in Sydney in the tunnel system, comprising of on-location shots in some of the town's disused tunnels, as well as a public pool. I don't know, it doesn't say which public pool. The Royal Australian Navy's World War II air raid shelters on Garden Island, which is in the middle of the harbour. It was shot over a 14-day period. There you go. So 14 days, 2 weeks to make a film. That's not bad. I think, some people take months and months and months and they still don't get it right. This one's not too bad. Now, just have a quick look. Yeah. I don't think it had a long release or much of a theatrical release. I think it went straight to other things such as Showtime Australia and Paramount Pictures Australia and Transmission Films and that sort of thing. But I think it actually went to streaming and DVDs and whatever they had. Yeah,
whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, whatever had. So that's why it's not a big any information on cinema. So I think it went that way.
Or it went to a private viewing, like my friend Jaden did when he did his.
Yeah, but someone's got to look at it after that, after one shot. That was only a private viewing. That was a freebie, a private viewing. I would say yes. I think it's called DVD. Yeah. it went to North America in one theatre and then DVD. So minimal cinema run, but it went on to home media. So there you go. Now, reception, my good people. Blah, 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 blah. Film has 100%. Wow.
Really?
The film has 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
I'm confused. It says 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score of 7 out of 10 based on 7 reviews.
Okay.
To me, that'd be 70%. But I could be wrong here.
The numbers sound like they're not really correct, Rooney.
Someone's made a mistake there. Variety gave the film positive review, saying making the most of a super atmospheric location never previously seen in an Aussie feature. Blah, 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 blah. Look, there's nothing. Everything said the same thing. Gave a positive review. They liked the locations. And they liked the way it was crafted, the sound, and the storylines, and different things. So so there you go. Here it is.
Okay.
In 2014, popular horror movie website Bloody Disgusting listed the film as one of the 13 scariest mockumentaries ever made. There you go.
Sounds good.
2015, BuzzFeed listed the film as one of the 13 Australian horror movies that will scare the shit out of you. Not my words, that's what's got written here
Yeah, can't argue
on the
with that.
website. So there you go then. So if you want a bit of a scare, a few jump scares in it, but it's the atmos in it. You're walking around in the dark in tunnels. I've been in tunnels like that, and apart from rats, spiders, snakes, if you're unfortunate in some places, a crocodile, you don't want to come across a monster, okay? You've already got a lot of problems happening there already. I don't know if it won any awards. Okay.
What's it say?
Okay. Well, it says awards. Prior to its completion.
What's that mean?
No, prior to its completion, it says, the tunnel earned an award and a nomination for its innovative online campaign about selling the frames. Okay. The tunnel has continued to receive award recognition in the festival circuit. Now, I'm not quite sure what it says here about nominations or whatever's, but the 17th annual AIMIA Awards, best use of social media, word of mouth or viral, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
A Night of Horror International Film Festival, best Australian director, Carlo Ledesima, whatever his name is. Screenfest Horror Film Festival, best special effects. Nominations. They must have been awards. Yeah, they got awards. Nominations: Australia Directors Guild Awards, cross-platform interactive. So whatever that is. And 17th annual AIMIA Awards, People's Choice Award. There you go then. They got a few nominations, got a few awards. It's not a bad film for what it is. Okay, I like it. I've watched it a couple of times. I find it rather. I like things done in limited locations and making the most of what you got instead of saying, "I'm going here. We're going to go another house, another building." Someone say, "Let's climb a mountain. Let's do that. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go on a boat," and just going around and round and round. I like it nice, contained, like Saw and things like that, and the examination, those sort of things. Cube, technically one room, but each cube's a room, but it's technically one room.
With a few mirrors,
and it's just done a lot of people acting and good filming to make it work. So I like those sort of things.
Oh yeah.
Now there was word in 2012.
Okay.
Of making a sequel. It was announced a sequel, The Tunnel. The Tunnel is planned, and the project is called The Tunnel Dead End. And it was never mentioned again, which is sad because it would have been good if they had something like that. Let's get a rescue team in to find the guy. And the storyline was about someone got lost in there and they went looking for him and that sort of stuff. So it would have been normal. Yeah. Let's try to milk it for what it's worth. So maybe it's better not to do it.
Well, you can't really get. I mean, I like it that in the credits, well, I think before the credits rolled, that it said that he was still missing, and it's like those documentaries where a person goes missing and and his family don't give up on hope but they continue searching for him, even though we both know that he's become a victim of the monster down there.
Anyway, here we go.
Although I think they probably would not believe Natasha or Stephen's claims about a monster down there. They probably wouldn't believe it if they up there when you think about it. Go on.
Like I said before, there are a lot of disused tunnels. Anyone who lives in Australia in Sydney anyway, people in the know, like me, would know there are disused tunnels. So this is feasible. The story is credible. So we'd say when you do a story and it's got a touch of possibility, truth, non-fiction feel to it, you go, this could be real, and that's the best part about making mockumentary, trying to make it feel real and scaring the crap out of people. And it worked.
Yeah, managed to interest a lot of people.
It ticked all the right boxes. Now, I'm going to grade it now. I can't say too much more about it. It is what it is. It's a found footage movie, so I can't say, well, it's really, really good and I love the makeup. And I'm not going to be biased or in its favour because I'm an Australian, okay?
Me neither.
But because of what it is, found footage, I think it holds its own. I'm not going to give it 10, like somebody next to me might. I'm going to give about a 9 out of 10, okay? But yeah, I think it's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I'm also not going to give it a 10 myself, but I'm not going to give it a lower score either. So I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 myself.
Close enough.
Because I do think that I do like the fact that the actors are not famous mainstream type actors.
Well, that's another point too. You've got not having well-known actors in it. You say, oh, that's Charlie Brown out of so-and-so movie or something or other. Oh, yeah. Well, you're not knowing the actors you're going. It lends more to the documentary style of filming.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone is not. They're not like Mike says. They're not Tom Cruise, and they're not Nicole Kidman either. I mean, a lot of people.
Eastwood or somebody. Yeah. There are no big names there, and you're going, oh, I don't know these people. This could be real. Yeah.
And not to just people out in America somewhere, but they often don't. They don't even know how modern Australia is.
In a tunnel, wouldn't do much.
It's just that some people live in cities, others live in suburbs, and others just naturally in between.
Sarah.
And most of the time they think we live in the outback with
Skippy.
Skippy the bush kangaroo.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
which we don't.
It's just like New York, San Francisco, all those other places, just another city.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as big, but we're still big cities.
We still have our modern conveniences.
Yeah, we're just like any other place. Anyway, here we go. If you want it, I think it's a good watch. eBay, it's for sale. Okay.
Right.
On Amazon, it's for sale. I didn't see it for rent, but I could have missed it. But it's for sale. But I did notice, like I said, there's The Tunnel, a Korean film. 2016. There's 2 other movies, English-speaking movies, 2014 and 2019, and there's a TV series as well. So when you go hunting for it, if you're interested, it is the Tunnel, T-H-E, then Tunnel, 2011, and you go chasing the director and the producer and the main star, which is Belle Delia, and you won't get the wrong product that way. I can't think of anything else to say in this one. I mean, it's limited what I can say about boring the crap out of you. What else? No, that's about it.
Yeah, so it's worth watching, guys. Just give it a chance. You might like it.
Look, I didn't check to see if it was on YouTube or something, but it may be on YouTube. You know, if you don't want to spend your hard-earned money on it, you have a look. But yeah, it is there if you want to buy it. It's not that expensive. Yeah, give it a go, and we'd really like your feedback on it.
Yes,
because I mean, it's the Australian film industry isn't as strong as, say, America, but sometimes they come up with damn good movies.
But I think it's getting there when I think about it.
Yeah, slowly, but
Slowly.
we can't get people interested in Australia funding-wise as much as we'd like, and it just gets. If you're going to make it, you got to really do it yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Try to raise your own money. If not, take it out of your lunch money. Rattle the piggy bank, sell the dog, whatever, and make some money, and go and shoot something. But
yeah, exactly.
it makes it very hard. But a lot of well-meaning people who we know, some are doing it. No money, some are doing it for a little bit of money, some are getting paid, some are getting paid because they just want to do it.
And sometimes even directors or producers go ahead and use their own money to.
They do, yeah.
Which I often it does make me proud when someone out there does do it on their own, without the aid of other studios.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
about
the
it.
Tunnel, guys, and now it's up to you guys to go ahead and actually watch the thing. So as we said, we highly recommend it, and
I do anyway.
Stuff like that.
And I don't normally like found footage type movies, but this one is an exception.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about it from us, guys. This is Sarah Stephenson
And Michael.
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and have a good week.
Bye, guys.